You recall for the last 2 days, the respondents have taken you through a rigorous process of cross-examination, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are now here to confirm and clarify various issues that arose from the cross-examination, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll take you through. You recall you were asked questions about Getibori polling station, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the difference of the vote between you and the person who was declared the winner?
The total Getibori is 310. And the total.
For example, in Getibori polling station 1 of 1, what did you garner?
55.
What did you score? 55. And what? Yes.
Both has gone 55. I think it was allocated.
And in
55,
Getibori, let's go simultaneously.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with Getibori 1 of 1, eh?
55.
1 of 2, sorry. What was your score?
55.
And what was the score of the fourth respondent?
I think I need to refer. 221.
221.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a document you're looking at, Mr. Joe?
Yes, my lord?
Is there a document you're looking at?
Yes, I'm looking at Form 35.
Form 35.
A, which is at page 256. 2556.
Okay.
And in Getibori 2 of 2, what did you garner?
55.
55. And what was the score by the fourth respondent?
$199.
199, correct?
199.
So in total, what did the fourth respondent garner in Getibori polling center?
Just 199 plus 2.
You can do that calculation very fast. 199
plus 221.
plus 2. $310, correct?
There is some recording going on. I can hear some sound.
So what was the total number of the votes that the fourth respondent garnered in Getibori polling center? 430.
Yes.
And what did you garner in total yourself?
55 times 2.
He said he garnered how much?
430.
430 from the 2 polling stations, correct?
Yes, my total is 110.
What was your total?
110.
110. And what is the difference between what you garnered and what you garnered? Is it 320?
Yes, Your Honor.
320. And is there any coincidence that you notice in those 2 polling stations? For example, in terms of what you garnered? What is the coincidence?
The coincidence is that both polling stations I garnered same number, 55.
You garnered or you purportedly garnered?
Purportedly, it's like it was allocated.
Why do you have doubts in the votes that you are allocated in that polling station?
Your Honor, it's because during the day voting went on well, as reported by the agents, but close to counting time, there was a fire that broke out.
Yes, that you said. You don't need to repeat.
And Your Honor, that necessitated the two boxes to be removed and taken to a nearby parked vehicle.
Do you have any evidence? You recall you are asked whether you have any investigations that was conducted?
Yes, I have a witness for that.
Now I'm asking, just wait for the question. Do you have any knowledge or information whether the persons responsible for investigations commenced the source investigation with respect to the source of the fire?
No, I only hear that from a lantern, something.
Do you know whether or not any report was made in any police station?
No.
Who was responsible of making that report? Is it you or the respondents? The first or third respondent?
The first respondent.
Who was responsible of that polling station? Was it you or the third respondent?
The first respondent.
Now, look at the agents. The same polling station, 1 of 2 and 2 of 2.
What page number was that again?
My lord, that is 256, page 256. Sorry, 25? Sorry, you can.
But 2565 and 2566.
But my lord, you can also find it in the first respondent's bundle at page 55. The respondent's bundle.
Are they the same?
Yes, they're the same, my lord.
Page 73 at the top. Center, top center, 73.
Yeah, we were referred to this yesterday.
Yes. So who appears as your agent? Read all the names of the agents and tell us which polling station you're dealing with. Yeah, look at polling station 1 of 2. Who are listed as your agents? Read the name of all the agents, please.
One is not very clear, Joseph Mugendi for Chama cha Kazi.
Joseph Mugendi for Chama cha Kazi.
Ignatius N. Ngare for UDA.
Ignatius, yes, proceed.
And Simon K. Namu for DP.
Simon K. Namo for DP.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, did you instruct and all give authority to Simon Namo Karaoke to be your agent?
No, Your Honor.
Let's go to the polling station 2 of 2. Who are listed as agents?
Again, we have Simon Karaoke Namu
Yes.
for DP.
Yes.
We have Indedi Wanjage for CCK.
Yes.
Joseph Mugendi for CCK again.
Yes.
And Monica Njagi for UDA.
Confirm whether or not at any given time you instructed Simon to appear as your witness.
No, Your Honor, and at the same time, he cannot be manning two polling stations.
And what is the uniqueness of that so-called agency?
Your Honor, the agent purportedly used for polling station 1 and 2 is 1. It's the same. Simon.
So Simon appeared both in polling station 1 and polling station 2, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you got instructions and training, were you told that one agent can stand for 2 polling stations?
Not at all, Your Honor.
What happened to your agent, and who was he?
My agent was Gilbert, but
What happened to him on that particular day? Why is it that he never signed the declaration form?
Your Honor, when
I have an objection to that.
Yes.
Yesterday, the witness confirmed that Gilbert, who is giving him the information which is being lent into, will not be called as a witness. Consequently, my lord, in reference to evidence emanating from Gilbert, who told him, is hearsay.
Yeah, that be for submissions, counsel, isn't it?
Yes, my lord.
Your Honor, what you are saying is that the person who was the agent at that time was Gilbert. whether he is coming or not, but he was Gilbert, not Simon.
That's fine.
Yes. So why is it that he never executed the necessary declaration forms? That is a question.
Your Honor, when the CS came, because there were instructions to the returning of, to the POs, that counting should not start until the CS arrives. Immediately arrived, there was a lot of chaos. Chaos caused by those people who are accompanying him, around the youths. So everyone ran for safety, Your Honor. So there was no chance for them to be involved in this exercise because they feared for their life. So they were not involved in all this, because when the boxes were removed from the classrooms and then stored in a nearby vehicle parked outside the polling center, after 40 minutes at the time, the boxes were taken back again, but to one classroom.
Right. You remember?
So the counting,
Yes.
if it was there, happened without my agents, Your Honor.
You recall that you indicated that you'll be calling your chief agent, correct?
Yes,
Who is he? Is he Peter Njerungare?
Peter Jarungare, yes.
That information that you're giving us, where did you get it from?
I got it from Peter Jarungare, and at the same time, I have a witness for this polling station.
Is that Simon Kariuki Namo?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the votes that were purportedly counted in that particular polling station, do they reflect the free will of the people of Gatibori?
No, Your Honor, because the boxes left in the hands of RMBC and went outside to non-authorized persons. So anything could have happened. In fact, it is not even very clear that what was taken in for the counting was the real boxes that were initially used for voting, if at all it ever happened.
Did Simon confirm to you whether or not at the time the ballot boxes were being taken out of the class of the polling stations, they were taken to account, or stock was taken of the boxes? For example, the serial numbers were taken?
Not at all.
So are you able to confirm with clarity whether or not the boxes that people voted into were the same boxes that contained the ballot papers were counted?
It's not possible.
In the circumstances of such doubts, what would you wish the court to do in respect of that particular two polling stations?
I will plead with the court that we ignore the results of this polling station in totality.
So, Mr. Kariuki, whom would you apportion that blame to? Is it the first respondent or the fourth respondent?
The IMBC.
The IBC. In respect of that particular polling station, polling center, was the election secure?
It wasn't.
Was the election verifiable?
It wasn't.
Was it accountable?
It wasn't.
Was it transparent?
Not at all.
Was it free and fair?
It wasn't. In any case, whether I was to win or not, violence should not be used.
Was it marred with violence and intimidation?
Correct.
Are those the principles and the tenets prescribed by the Constitution that should guide an election process?
Not at all.
Let's go to the next part of the question that was put to you. You recall the first respondent putting to you questions in respect to the voters register, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You recall him putting it to you that a KIMS kit cannot boot in the absence of a manual register, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Cannot what? Sorry.
Cannot boot.
Boot.
Boot, B-O-O-T, cannot
Oh,
start.
cannot start.
Cannot start in the absence of the manual register, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that the manual register was so key so that you could have the QR code scanned by the KIMS kit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
In essence, the first to the third respondent was essentially saying that the manual registers were present, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And therefore, if the manual, and how many polling stations were in that particular constituency?
134, Your Honor.
134, correct?
Yes.
So that is to say, each polling station had its own KIMS kit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
That at least is a requirement by the law, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And therefore, we expected to have 134 manual register for purpose of scanning of the KIMS kit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll show you. Recall that we moved the court to have an inventory of the materials that were corrected for safekeeping by the court, correct?
Yes.
And as a result of that, a report was generated by the deputy registrar of this court, which report has duly been filed before this court, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll now refer you to the same. My lord, I'm referring to page 59. Sorry, my lord.
Get me there.
Page 61, my lord, of the report. Say that one again. Let me check. Yeah. Sorry, my lord, should be page 59. Is it page 59? Yeah, we paginated ourselves.
Just get this paginated. Is it paginated?
We paginated ours, my lord.
You will have to use one of theirs so they are the same, in case there are any pages missing. Page 59. We start at the beginning. Francis,
Yes, my lord.
you can't number it on your own. Can you sit next to one of those others, or ask one of them? Can one of you just please number mine? Yashuba,
Yes, ma'am.
do you mind if you don't mind?
I can.
Can you just number it? Because if he numbers it and there's a page missing, it'll all be off. Just compare it with yours, please, if you don't mind.
Fair enough.
If you don't mind.
No,
Thank
I
you.
don't mind.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, my lord, I put the question to the witness.
Yes, 59.
So, have a look at this document, Mr. Witness. Kindly read out the content therein.
Your Honor, this is inventory of other strategic materials issued to High Court from IPC and County Office for the Mbeere North by election petition.
And which date is it dated?
20th January 2026.
You can see we have a column, correct? A table, correct?
Yes.
What is the first entry?
The register of voters from Mbeere North. Item description.
Yes, now next.
The quantity.
Yes,
The ballot box serial number.
correct,
Ballot box serials S stroke numbers
correct,
at end of counting.
correct.
Serial number of aperture seal and then remarks.
So you can see where we have entry number 1, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Read out the content therein.
Register of voters from Mbeere North, MNM by elections, 27th 11/2025. We have 128 pieces.
These
printed.
are the registers of voters for Mbeere
North.
North, member of National Assembly by election, correct?
Yes.
How many pieces were recovered?
128 pieces, Your Honor.
128 pieces, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many polling stations did we have?
134, Your Honor.
So how many registers should we be having?
134.
134. How many manual registers are missing?
6.
6. Are you able to tell which polling stations those missing relates to?
Not possible, Your Honor.
You recall you are informed that a Kim's kit cannot boot in the absence of the manual register, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is in evidence, therefore, that 6 manual registers are missing, correct?
Yes.
Are you able to tell whether or not those polling stations participated in an election?
I don't think.
Are you able to tell whether or not they participated through the Kim's kit?
No.
Remember, the principle has been established by the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission, correct?
Yes.
Remember, the voting was by the Kim's kit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you able to tell which polling stations voted or never voted?
No, Your Honor, we can only do a scrutiny.
Did the IBC explain that in their replying affidavit to the petition?
No, Your Honor.
When the IBC received this report from the court, did they substantiate that position?
No, Your Honor.
In the circumstances, are you able to tell whether or not the elections were conducted in a free, fair, secure, verifiable, accountable, and transparent manner?
Not at all, Your Honor.
You recall the IBC indicating to you that there were only 134 ballot boxes, correct?
Yes.
Did you say 154?
134, my lord.
134.
I beg your pardon. So, Mr. Witness, the other grave issue you had was about the assisted voters, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you indicated that the number of the assisted voters was worrying, amazing, and unheard of, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was your gravement about these assisted voters?
Your Honor, it is a high number of the assistant voters because, as I said,
How does that number impact on the elections? How does it make you question the validity of the election?
the number was too high, and this number shows that it is coming from bribery. That is why it is so high. Because I said here a while ago that even a teacher that day was illiterate.
Did you know who ought to have been assisted? Or what is the description of an assisted voter?
An assistant voter, Your Honor, should be an illiterate person who cannot be able to write for himself.
I'll again refer you to the same report. The same page, my lord, page 59. You can see we have an entry there, correct?
Yes.
Entry number 4, correct? Entry number 3, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is enumerated under entry number 3?
This is number 3 is about forms.
Forms, correct. Proceed to read.
Form 41, statement on rejected ballot papers.
Statement on rejected
Ballot papers. And
number
then
2.
we have Form 32,
Form 32.
declaration of secrecy made by a person assisting a voter.
a declaration of secrecy made by a person assisting a voter, correct?
Yes, and
How many pieces of those declarations were discovered?
10,072
No,
pieces.
just read it correctly.
1,072
1,072, correct?
pieces, yes.
The same page. Page 59. These are the pieces of Form 32, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your evidence that you understand that the form's captions by law, the purpose and the reason why this person has sought the assistance, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know how many people are supposed to assist a voter at any given time?
At least one person, Your Honor.
At least?
One person to assist one person. Or maybe,
List or
no, one person should assist an illiterate voter.
Can that person subsequently assist another voter?
No, Your Honor.
In your evidence, before this court, are you able to say whether that rule was adhered to by the person responsible?
You can't tell.
In the circumstances of that evidence, what would you wish this court to do in respect of Form 32?
To allow a scrutiny, Your Honor.
To allow a scrutiny, so as to establish what?
So as to establish the number of forms, whether they are there or not, and at the same time, Your Honor, to establish those who are assisting these illiterate persons, if I may call them, whether one person was assisting one as per the law.
Whether the whole process of assisting was in accordance or in conformity with the law, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, look at the same form, the same page. What is the next entry?
The next entry is Kim's validation forms.
Kim's validation forms. How many pieces were recovered?
701 pieces.
701 pieces. I will inform you, Mr. Witness, that in law, those forms are described as Form 32A.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you recall evidence that there was no manual register, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know when the validation forms are deployed? Do you know when the IBC is required to make use or deploy those forms?
When the Kim's kit cannot be fail to capture a person.
When the Kim's kit fails to capture a person, what do you exactly mean?
A person who is not identified by the Kim's.
If the Kim's kit does not identify
Yes.
a voter, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know which polling station those forms emanated from?
No, Your Honor.
Did the IBC, in their replying affidavit to the petition, disclose to the court that there were individuals who were captioned by that methodology?
No, Your Honor.
Who ought to have informed the court what transpired between you and the IBC at the polling stations?
IBC, Your Honor.
Will I be correct to say that those forms of 701 individuals represent voters?
Yes, they represent voters, Your Honor.
Was it your evidence that individuals who are not registered voters in those polling stations actually cast their votes?
Yes, Your Honor.
what was the question?
Was it your evidence that individuals who are not registered voters in Mbeere North cast their votes or participated in that election?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it therefore your evidence that these individuals could have been captioned through that mechanism of the validation of the KIMS kit?
True.
How can the court establish that?
Your Honor, it's only through scrutiny.
Did you make a prayer for the scrutiny of all the election materials before this court?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you gave an example of one Collins Monene, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could Collins Monene be among the 701 individuals?
Yes, it's possible.
Allow me to slightly go back to Getibori. Just one question, Your Honor, my Lord. You recall the fourth respondent apportioning Mr. Simon Namo Karaoke to you, correct? You remember?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you recall him saying that strangers were allowed to get the polling station during that time, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your evidence, therefore, that indeed it is true strangers were in that particular polling station during the counting?
Yes, and it is IMBC which was responsible to be in charge of that.
Did this Simon Karaoke Namo inform you how the purported counting was carried out?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he tell you where it was carried out from?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did he tell you?
Simon Moneki,
Simon Namo
Simon Namo, sorry,
Karaoke.
happened to run for safety when chaos erupted.
Yes,
And then he found himself inside.
correct.
That is how he happened to be there.
So where did he tell you that the voting took place from? Did each polling station count their votes?
No, Your Honor. It's like they were put together.
Do you know
One classroom.
that the law describes a polling station as a distinct entity,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that the declaration is in respect of a polling station unique to that particular station?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, if I inform you about the case of Maina Kiai, that informed that the declaration of results in a polling center, polling stations are final. You remember?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you therefore say there was finality of declaration in that particular election?
No, Your Honor.
Let's come to the issues of the training of the agents.
Yes, Your Honor.
You recall, you are informed that agents were, sorry, not agents, my lord, the presiding officers and the deputy presiding officers, correct?
Yes.
You recall you are informed by the IBC that they train in excess of the required number, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You recall that?
Yes, I recall.
Did they tell you how they take stock of the persons who are not deployed?
No, Your Honor. They said that some of those in excess, they can even be used as clerks. I think that is what they said.
Now, my lord, I refer the witness again to the same report at page 61. At page 61, where I've highlighted, will you kindly read out to the court those details?
Details of recruitment poll of issues, PO and DPOs.
How many were recruited?
268.
268.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it your evidence, therefore, that each polling station had to have a PO and a deputy PO? Is that the normal procedure?
Yes, Your Honor, they are not in excess.
So for us to get the arithmetics correct, you just need to multiply 134 by 2, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You get to what? You get the number appearing on that particular report, correct?
Yes. With the total.
Does it speak to the excess of the other presiding officers?
No, Your Honor.
Is there an explanation that was granted and or offered by the IBC in that respect?
No, Your Honor.
Did you vote on that day, Mr. Witness?
Yes, I voted.
What time did you vote?
At around 11, Your Honor.
At around 11. From which polling station did you vote from?
Karambari polling station.
Sorry? Take it.
Karambari polling station.
Karambari polling station. How many polling stations were there?
2.
2. So you voted in which in particular?
No, Karambari polling station is 1.
Also, there is only one polling station.
Yeah. Sorry.
Did you witness the presence of a manual register?
No, Your Honor.
Yes?
No.
Did your agents confirm to you whether or not there was a deployment of the manual register?
No.
As I hand you over to my learned friend, Mr. Kiroko, or Mr. Duta, you spoke about violence, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did that violence manifest itself in that particular election, and how did it impact on the results?
Your Honor, firstly, violence should not be used at all
Sorry,
in an
one
election.
question. How did it manifest itself?
To suppressing the would-be voters.
Yani, ilikuwa ya
Creating
kiwango
fear?
gani? Ilikuwa ya scale kama gani?
It was so high and widespread in several polling stations.
What nature of violence was it? Was it just shouting? Just describe that violence for the court's record.
Your Honor, voters, even agents were being beaten in some of the polling stations,
Yes.
like Live-Mbeere.
Do you have an agent or a witness who will testify to that effect?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the name of that witness?
Dan Dagwa, Your Honor. Macharia. Violence again,
He was an agent for which political party?
Safina.
Safina.
Which station?
Which
Getibore.
station? Getibore. You have subpoenaed him as a witness, correct?
Yes.
Proceed to describe the nature of the violence.
Again, Your Honor, if you look at Kaongo polling station, this is where one person was shot.
Yes.
The live bullet, Your Honor.
You recall the IBC advocate questioning you as to whether or not that shooting took place within a polling station or a polling center.
The shooting took place within a polling center.
Would you kindly be kind enough to describe the jurisdiction of a polling center?
A polling center can be described that as an area that is covered by 400 square meters.
400 square
Meters.
meter. Is it your evidence, therefore, that that shooting occurred within that particular jurisdiction?
Yes, Your Honor, because it was only outside the gate.
Would you confirm whether or not all these incidences that we are speaking about were captioned? But before I ask you that, where is all this evidence supposed to be recorded? Where is all these incidences supposed to be recorded?
In the diary.
In the post-day diary,
Yes, Your Honor.
the PSD, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is the custodian of these PSDs?
The first respondent.
But you also recall that from the Form 35A, there is a provision for the presiding officer's comment, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
For example, would I be right that to say that the presiding officer's comment, I'll ask, that's not for you. I'm gonna put it there. For example, in Getibori, what comments are indicated therein in polling station 1 of 1?
Are you showing him now page 73 again?
Yes, my lord.
Are you back to page 73?
That's correct, my lord. Which entry is, which comments are given?
There were no rejected and rejected objected to ballot papers and no disputes votes.
Did the presiding officer in charge of that particular polling station indicate anything else that transpired at that polling station? Have they captured the issues of fire?
No, Your Honor.
Have they captured the issues of the presence of the government officers?
No, Your Honor.
How about polling 2 of 2? Have they captured any incidents other than that of the votes?
No, Your Honor, except that there were 3 rejected ballot papers.
Do those comments reflect the true position of what transpired in that particular polling station?
No, Your Honor.
Let's go to where there was shooting. Which polling station is that?
Kaungo.
Kaungo. Please get me. Which other document would indicate to the court whether there was recording of those incidences other than the Form 35A? You spoke about polling station diary, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, at Kaungu polling station. What transpired? The comments. Read out the comments.
That's a document you're showing?
Yes, my lord, it's the
20.
Form 35A in respect to Kaungu polling station 1 of 1. It appears at page 2549 of our bundle. Which page is that?
65.
65, top center of the IBC.
Presiding officer comments, there were 4 rejected ballot papers.
Does it comment what transpired within the jurisdiction of that polling center?
No, Your Honor.
You recall a question was put to you by my learned friend about issues of bribery, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you recall a question being put to you about the philanthropy, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who was that philanthropic during the election period? Who demonstrated the philanthropy?
The person who demonstrated philanthropy.
Yes.
What I know is that...
Who was that generous, giving things?
Oh, Mr. Itumbi.
Mr. Itumbe. Let's deal with the people that we have mentioned, because we have not mentioned Mr. Itumbe before, correct?
Is there somebody coming to give that evidence?
No.
Yes, my lord, we have.
Is there a witness?
We have witnesses for bribery. So you recall you indicating that government officers were largely involved in that process, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was the connection between the 4th respondent and government officers? What is the nexus?
The 4th respondent was a candidate of UDA, which is a government.
So what was being given to who was being targeted with these gifts?
The UDA candidate.
No, I'm asking, who was the UDA candidate targeting with these gifts?
They were trying to bribe voters so that they don't vote for any other candidate except their candidate.
Okay. What were they giving?
They could give money.
Yes.
They were giving money.
Yes.
They were giving unga.
Yes.
Rice.
Council, be careful.
I pass over to my learned friend. I yield.
Mr. Kariuki, I have a few questions for you arising from what my learned. Oh, Keroko Ndegwa for the petitioner. My learned colleague, Mr. Adrian Kamotho, took you through some table of the votes that were affected yesterday, or rather, the votes that were affected in the election. And yesterday he took you through that.
Yes, Your Honor.
I want us to focus on those numbers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, what was the nature, for instance, in Getivore 1 and 2 that you are complaining to court?
Your Honor, in Getifore, I'm complaining about the violence
The violence.
that took place there, and the counting, if I thought it was there, which was done in absence of my agents.
Please confirm the difference between you and the 4 respondents in the votes in that Getivore 1 and 2 combined is 310,
Yes, Your Honor.
as my learned colleague Mr. Dego has taken you through.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you confirm that in that election, those votes, it is the election was not secure and it was not verifiable.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please confirm what is the difference between you and the 4th respondent in this election. What was the difference in numbers?
The difference is 494.
494. So 494, if the election in Getifore does not meet the principle set out in Article 86 of the Constitution, they are supposed to be excluded.
Yes, Your Honor.
That would discount for 320.
Yes.
310, my apologies.
310.
Now, you have equally complained about the bribery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bribery of voters. And you said that what was the nature of, or how would bribery affect, or how would it be affected in that election?
When you bribe a person,
Yes.
and in fact assist him, that means he's going to elect a person of
Let's
that choice.
focus on assisting. How would assisting happen?
When you assist a voter and you have bribed him, you are making sure that he has bribed the person that you want.
So, Mr. Kariuki, the Deputy Registrar prepared a report. Please confirm how many of such assisted voters are indicated, the assisted voter forms at page 59.
They are 1072 pieces.
1072 pieces.
Yes.
So, you are aware that in the Elections Act, votes that were obtained by way of bribery are supposed to be excluded.
Yes, Your Honor.
Rather, can I inform you as much?
Yes.
So, if indeed it is verified that these votes, the assisted voter forms, are as proof of bribery, there is a possibility of 1,072 votes being excluded.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would that overturn the election? Would that breach the gap of 494 between you and the 1st respondent, and the 4th respondent? My apologies.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let me take you to issues
Counsel,
of...
I'm just wondering,
Yes,
you're talking about assisted voters
yes,
and you're talking about bribery.
yes, yes, Judge.
You are saying that the assisted voters were being bribed.
Yes. It is actually, it will be proven in the statements. I'm just taking him through what the allegations are and what the Deputy Registrar has provided.
My Lord, I think we have restrained ourselves. It would appear that counsel for the petitioners are actually doing exam in chief afresh and not re-examination.
Well, you went across the whole evidence. You did very thorough
Yes.
cross-examination. They can pick any item that you cross-examined on and re-examine.
That is so, my lord. But this is Gachuba for the fourth respondent. But my lord, the issue is they are raising new issues.
New issues you can raise. You
Which
can
we
you
do
can
not.
object to. If there's a new issue, you can stand up and object.
Yes, because
Just
like
point
now,
it out and object.
yes, like now there's an issue of assisted voters, which are now being treated as bribed.
That is why I stopped him.
Yes.
Because for me, that is something I was learning.
Yes, so that's a new issue, my lord.
That's a new issue.
Unless we'll be allowed to cross-examine the
Yeah.
witness on the same.
So stick counsel in in re-examination. Stick to the issue that was raised in cross-examination. If you raise a new issue, there will be a challenge. Yes, sir.
Yes, Adrian, for the fourth respondent.
Yes.
In the same breath, there seems to be an issue that is being misrepresented because there is reference being made to the strategic materials that were not used, the 1072 pieces. It is the one that the witness is being led to say that were used for bribery. Yeah, these are unused forms at page 59.
Page 59.
Yes, my
Yeah,
lord.
the 1072 pieces.
Yes,
Yeah.
these are unused materials, so there can be no nexus between unused materials and bribery.
Oh, I see. You are saying these are unused materials.
Yes, as per this report, as per the Deputy Registrar's report.
Your Lordship, I don't know where my learned colleague gets the information that they were unused. These are materials that arise under Regulation 85 of the General Regulations of the Elections. And they are ordinarily secured by the returning officer. So I don't know how they found themselves in the elections if they were not used.
Mr. Kamodo,
Yes, my lord.
I'm just wondering, how did you... Form 32 is normally the declaration of secrecy that has to be signed by the assistant, the person assisting. That is kept in a ballot box and
Correct, ma'am.
retained throughout. Are you saying that in this particular case, these are unused? Form 30, I think this would be 32 what, A?
32, my lord.
32.
32 and 32A.
Yeah.
Well, I will allow the petitioner's counsel to proceed, and then
And then in any case, your witness will come and clarify this kind of content. Isn't
Correct,
it?
my lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your witness will clarify. If they have got it all wrong, then they have got it all wrong.
very well, ma'am.
If they have got it wrong, they've just got it wrong.
Very well,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Your Lordship, in any case, these materials are supposed to be sealed. I don't know how the fourth respondents seem to have information of what is contained inside. Be that as it may,
But my lord, I would not want to interfere with the flow of counsel, but I think it will be wrong because I'm just referring to what is here.
Yeah.
So there's no input from me as a person.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's, if you don't mind, counsel.
Yes.
We've started very well since we began this whole exercise.
Yes.
Let's not be a bit snide or make remarks about character.
I humbly apologize. Mr. Karaoke, please confirm that from the report by the Deputy Registrar, there was an indication of 701 KIMS kit validation forms,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that the 701 KIMS validation forms, if indeed what you have complained is confirmed, it is likely to bridge the gap between you and the number one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please confirm the information you provided for in your table at page 23. At page 23 of your petition, you complained, for instance, about suppression of votes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me take you, for instance, at Sianyi Primary, or rather Kaungu, where you got you were ahead of the fourth respondent by 12 votes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this mean that the 12 votes were the ones that were affected, or that the suppression of votes out of the violence disadvantaged you by denying you potential voters?
Yes, Your Honor.
So where did you get this information, for instance, on the number of voters, or number of registered voters, and the number of the votes cast, and the difference between you and number 1, number 4?
From IBC.
Which form?
From 35.
So this information you got them from 35.
Yes, Your Honor.
Merely what you provided for in at your paragraph 114 is just what is provided for under form 35A.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. I invite my learned colleague, Mr. Kirago.
Yeah, Kirago Aduta, my lord. Mr. Kariuki, I would like us to have a discussion on paragraph 114 of your supporting affidavit, where we did some arithmetic yesterday.
Paragraph 114.
Paragraph 114,
Where is my paragraph?
where there are some arithmetics that we did yesterday. Mr. Dr. Kamodo, perhaps you can pull up a full scope, because we need to revisit the formula. So, and Mheshimiwa Kariuki, the suggestion was that the column on the extreme right indicates what, if I got it right, indicate what you thought you would get had the complaints that you have in this petition not taken place. I think that's a suggestion that I got from my learned friend.
Yes.
Is that the case?
No.
Can you just tell the court what is contained on that column on the extreme right?
If I pick one example, like it for Your Honor, the minus 66, what it means is this is a difference.
You're referring to entry number 2. You've just picked randomly.
Yes, randomly. This is the difference between what I got and what my competitor, who is the current MP, got. So what I'm saying is that this minus 166,
Yes.
being the difference, if there was no chaos, I could have done better.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. It's not that I would be complaining about the minus 166.
Okay.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, my lord. Just break it down, or let me take you slowly. For instance, in entry number 2, Gitivuri polling station number 2, you have minus 166.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who had more votes in Gitivuri?
Honorable Wamadende.
And maybe you can just refer to the form 35A, which I've opened for you. So how do you arrive at 1?
Your Honor, it is 428.
Just read the 35A.
That 5A in Ghana 199.
199.
Yes.
And you?
I got 55.
So, what is 166?
This is 199 minus 55.
Minus 55.
Yes.
Thank you.
One, what and what minus one?
The total of my competitor minus what I got.
199 minus 55. Is that the case?
Yes.
Then, my lord, I don't know whether we are there together.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yes, my lord, from my computation, 199 minus 55 is 144, not 166.
Correct, yeah. So I'll just make a note there.
Oh, sorry. Station 1 and 2, sorry. 144 is actually on the entry number 1, Gitivuri polling station 1. The page before that. That's the one that
No,
has.
but you are showing us page 108,
Let me have that.
which is Gitimbori polling station 2, where there's 428 minus 285 equals minus 166.
Yeah, it appears, my lord, the first one, polling station number 1, there's 221 minus 55. That's the one you get the 166. So I think we may need to change polling station 1 and 2. The numbers, we interchange the numbers, I think, in the process of typing. But the statistics are correct, but the polling station is interchanged slightly. So we have the 144. Let's use that one. But that is station 2, not 1. So, these figures that you have on that extreme right,
Yes, Your Honor.
do they represent the total, the total number of votes that about which you are complaining in this election, in this petition?
No, Your Honor.
What do they represent?
There is a difference between me and Honorable Amadende in that polling station.
In that polling station. I want to take you to Kaungu,
Yes, Your Honor.
which has a plus number.
Yes, a plus.
That is item, it is entry number E4
Yes, Your Honor.
on page 108.
Yes.
Kaungu Primary School.
Yes.
So you have a plus 33.
Yes, Your Honor.
What does plus 33 mean?
It means at this polling station, I won by 33 votes.
You defeated the fourth respondent.
No, I'm not seeing that. Are you looking at page 108?
Page 108.
Yeah. And
The,
Kaungu is number 4.
yeah,
Kaungu is number 4, yes.
Is 4.
Karambari, sorry, Karambari. This Kaungu 1 is actually Karambari.
Karambari is with the plus 33.
Yes, that one.
Kaungu has no figure.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, Kaungu has plus 12.
Plus 12.
Kaungu.
Above.
Yes, it has a
Number
big
1.
space. There's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then there's a B.
I don't see it.
My lord, it is somewhere.
Number 1.
Oh, right at the top there.
Yes.
Okay. So which one are we looking at now?
Kaungu.
You can actually use that one. You can actually use Kaungu.
Kaungu, which is number 1.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would like you to comment on there's something you've written, violence and
Violence and intimidation of voters in petitioners' strongholds. At Kaongo, Your Honor, the difference, I won in this polling station by 12 votes. And what I'm explaining here is that were it not for the violence and intimidation, that even stopped voting in this polling station for more than 2 hours, I would have done better if I had won by 12 votes, regardless of this violence, Your Honor.
Lord, I'm noting new evidence emerging.
Yes.
This is new evidence of the disruption of. This is Charles Mwongela for the first, second, and third. I'm objecting, my Lord, to the new evidence which is coming from the witness in re-examination.
Yes.
There is nowhere in his evidence, whether as filed or as extracted in cross-examination yesterday and the day before, to the effect that voting was disrupted by and stopped for 2 hours. There is nothing like that.
It is there, Your Honor.
No, there was.
For 2 hours.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It was in the station where the vehicle was outside. The boxes were taken outside. Sorry, not
No,
that
that
one.
is Kitty
Sorry,
Fori.
not that one. That
This
was
is the
40
place
that was
where-
40 minutes. There was
This-
another one for 2 hours.
This is
And
where-
we can find it if
This is where the photo was shot, Your Honor.
yeah.
Yes.
It is here. I recall writing that.
Yes, Your Honor.
And thank you, my lord. In any event, we are trying to clarify the formula that my
Just look for it. Just,
talked about.
just to help the speak for it. Not
So,
be in cross-examination from yesterday. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so Newton Karaoke. So about your testimony is that, were it not?
Were it not for violence, Your Honor, I would have done better. That is what I mean by plus 12, that there was massive violence and intimidation that stopped voting for more than 2 hours, and I said it here yesterday, but I managed to win this polling station by 12 votes. Were it not for that, I feel that I would have done better.
Thank you. So, I want to take you to something else. Yesterday, in the course of your evidence, there are certain paragraphs or certain remarks that you made regarding certain content of your petition and your affidavit. And I remember you saying that you have abandoned, you have retracted, you will not follow that. Maybe you can explain to court what that means or what you meant with that.
Maybe you just take us through each of those because there are several retractions.
I think he has a position on all of them. Or do you have any?
No, I only remember, Your Honor, the number of POs.
The number of POs.
The number of the trained presiding officers and deputy presiding officers.
There was also something to do with bribery.
Yes, Your Honor.
Voter bribery.
Yes, Your Honor. But I came to realize that we have witnesses here.
We have witnesses on those
Yes.
issues. You also talked about interference by state officers. There's a paragraph.
Counsel, I'm a bit lost.
Very well.
What are the questions?
There are comments. There are paragraphs of the affidavit that.
Yeah, just take us to those paragraphs.
Very well.
You know, I'll have trouble following
Very well.
this re-examination.
Let me just have them highlighted so that then I go one by one as I deal with just one other issue. Now, I want to take you through this report by the deputy registrar. My lord, as that one is being retrieved.
Okay.
How many polling stations were there in the constituency?
134.
134. I would like you to look at page 53 of the deputy registrar's report. And this is page 53.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can see the number of boxes that were received.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many ballot boxes were received?
135.
Just read the first one, 100 and,
The first one is 134.
and then additional. Yes.
There is 135.
135.
Strategic materials delivered at the tallying center outside the sealed ballot boxes.
So there were strategic.
Strategic materials delivered at the tallying center outside the sealed ballot boxes.
Outside the sealed ballot boxes. Now, who sealed these ballot boxes? This ballot box, 135.
IMPC.
IPC. Anyone in particular, you know?
No.
You don't know.
And counsel, if you don't mind, that was not in the, I don't think it came out in examination in chief or cross-examination about sealing.
Very well. The question was about
And
the
my
numbers.
understanding of this report is that there were not 135 boxes, but 134 ballot boxes for the stations, and then one box, number 135, had the strategic materials. Is that my understanding? Yeah. So I don't know what you're trying to get out of him.
Okay. Very well. We can just pick that one from the returning officer.
Yeah.
Yes, my lord, only one question in respect to him. Mr. Witness, you indicate that the polling station at Kaungu, there were 2 hours when elections were stopped, correct?
Yes, sir.
What time was
Just a second. Let me, Mr. Mwongela, just for your comfort, we have found where I recorded if recount is done because voting stopped for 2 hours and agents ducked, some stuffing could have occurred. I think this was at Kaungu. For Kaungu, I have no issue with the results. I have an issue only with the violence. And I think I wrote 2 hours more than once. Yeah. So I didn't want you to have this, the feeling that I'm overruling you without.
I've got it.
Yeah.
My lord, I'm still on those 2 hours, my lord. My name is Deb Wanjiru. Mr. Witness, you've confirmed that voting stopped for 2 hours, correct?
Correct.
Are you aware when voting stopped in that polling station?
It was around 11.
No, not at that time. When did the voting stop?
The voting stopped when state officers.
Sorry, I think I am not being clear.
Yes.
Uchaguzi uliisha saa ngapi katika hiyo polling station hiyo siku?
Oh, around 5.
Ulifungwa saa 5. We'll be making submissions in that respect, my lord.
Yes.
My lord, there's something that Mr. Jero has said, which could, Mr. Jiro has said, which could be innocent or not.
Yeah.
Adrian, for the fourth respondent. The witness said that the polling station was closed at 5. And then Mr. Jiro said, ilifungwa saa 5.
You see, I understand what he is saying. I think what he is saying is that when violence started, it was stopped at 11. That is what he is saying. But it is resumed later.
When it resumed, therefore, for purpose of clarity and the benefit of my learned friend Dr. Kamotho, uchaguzi uliisha saa ngapi? 5 o'clock. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'll make.
So that's not voting stopped, but voting closed.
Closed. Voting
it stopped for 2 hours.
Yes.
At that time, he has not indicated.
Yes.
But it closed at 5, according
to
him.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. I'll be making submissions on that.
Yes, Your Honor.
On the question of the franchising of voters.
You didn't need to interrupt the re-examination. Tell us what you'll submit on. So voting closed at 5 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is on their feet now?
My Lords, Kariuki Njiri, just 2 questions.
So my lord, this is Adrian for the fourth respondent.
Yeah.
for purposes also of our ability to follow the questions, it's also good to know, like you asked, who is on the floor, because it's like Mr. Watuta has been stood down.
No, I just concluded. Then I allow Mr. Degwajiro to clarify something. Then finally, Mr. Njiri, I think he had two questions because of some.
I don't mind light comments that create laughter. Help me.
Very well. Yeah, my lord, you did not.
But I have
with-
problems with comments that create tension
Yes.
and stress.
Yeah, let Mr. Njiri address those paragraphs.
Yes. Karaoke Njiri. While being cross-examined by counsel for the first, second, and third respondent, a question was posed as to whether you want scrutiny of all the KIMS kit and the ballot boxes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why would you want a scrutiny for the same?
Because, Your Honor, if you look at the assistant voters, and then you look at the voters who did not pass through the KIMS,
Yes.
the 700 plus, that's the report from IMBC.
Yes.
They must be widespread, and we don't know where they are. If you look at, I have analyzed there, Your Honor, several polling stations.
Yes.
Several polling stations.
In your petition, you have,
Yes, in my petition.
you did mention several polling stations.
Yes, sir.
What was the problem in terms of the registered voters in the KIMS and the registered voters in the manual register?
So that we can be able to pick the unidentified voters who are allowed to vote.
Okay.
We can only do.
Let me pose a question. Did in your evidence, were you able to tally the number, or were you able to know the number of registered voters in the KIMS kit vis-a-vis the registered number of voters in the manual register that was provided by IEBC?
Yes, Your Honor, on several polling stations here, which I have highlighted.
Were they tallying?
They were not tallying, Your Honor.
When giving your evidence, you also abandoned several clauses in your petition and affidavit.
Yes, Your
I'll
Honor.
start by in your affidavit. Sorry, in your petition, you had retracted on your ground 7, bribery, threatening, undue influence in violence of the Election Offences Act and the Constitution. Can happen.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's not correct, counsel.
Sorry.
He abandoned C, underground 7.
Oh, yeah.
Just C.
Oh, yes. Under ground 7, you abandoned the particulars in C.
On
That
a,
is-
on a particular NC.
Yes, that is at the Kaungu polling station.
Yes, but violence stands.
I think he's reconfirming.
Yes, I want you to reconfirm. Are you still abandoning, or you would wish the same to be reinstated?
I came to realize here, Your Honor, that we have witnesses for who will come to speak to violence.
So you have a witness who will
And
come
bribery.
and support this particular
Yes, Your Honor.
allegation.
Yes.
It's 10:50.
Yes, you also, sorry, my lord.
It's 10:50. Our
Yes.
break would normally be at 10:45.
Yes.
But if you are about to finish, we can
I'm
finish.
about to. Now, on particulars in ground 3, you had abandoned the particulars in 24D. Is that still your stand?
Ground
24D. In ground 3?
Ground 3, yes, that was 24D.
24D. Is your stand still, do you still retract that, or you do it, wish the same to be reinstated?
It shouldn't be reinstated because, Your Honor, when I was pushed, I was being asked whether I know the name of that officer who had been, but I came to realize, Your Honor, that I have a witness for this.
You have a witness who will testify on the issues of the presiding officers who are not allocated duties on the eve of the election.
Yes, and she's coming today.
In regard to particulars as pertains ground 5, that one, you had abandoned both particulars in ground 30 and 31. Would you still stand with abandoning the same, or would you like the same to be?
You're talking of ground?
That is ground, ground number 5. Ground number 5, my lords.
I didn't record an abandonment there.
Okay. Very well, my lords. 87. That's page 87. Is it the page? No.
Kashuba, can I help? Shall I help them? Identify the abandoned. Shall I help them identify the abandoned?
Yes, you can, my lord. It's
All
all
right.
right.
The next one would be ground 9, 42A. Ground 9, 42A.
Yes, go to ground 9, 42A. 42. That is the name of the petition. Yes. Now, this is ground 9, 42A. Are you still abandoning the particulars?
I ask for a reinstatement.
You wish it to be reinstatement. You have a witness will come in and substantiate
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
same.
Yes, Your Honor.
And finally, 93. No, that's affidavit. Yeah, in your affidavit, you abandoned paragraph 93, particulars in paragraph 93. Would you still abandon the same, or do you wish it to be reinstated?
I have a witness for bribery. Let it be reinstated.
93, you'd like it to
Yes.
be, and the 94
Same, Your Honor.
on the affidavit,
Yes, Your Honor.
and 99.
Be reinstated. It's very important.
That's all, my lords.
My lord,
Yes, sir.
Adrian, for the fourth respondent, it is clear that yesterday the witness indicated that he had no witness for bribery. So we would like to know who now is the agent. Who is the witness? Can give us the particulars of the agents that will be, of the witnesses
Who will be called?
who will now be called on all the grounds that now the witness has sought to be reinstated.
When we did pre-trial, we were directed to serve the petition and all the supporting affidavits. Then the responsibility of reading those documents and guiding and making our own observations lies on the party on whom those documents are served.
Yeah.
We cannot then sit here and start guiding Kamotho on what to read in those statements. Let them read the statements. If nothing is not proved, then they can submit on it. That's all, my lord.
Yeah, because it's okay, counsel. I want us to go for a break. We need it. Because he took a position at one stage, which he has now retracted, the reasons for the retraction have been recorded. So those reasons are the reasons for which that retraction was made.
Yes.
If no witnesses show up, then the retraction stands.
Yes.
Is that correct? That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Because these are affidavits and these are petitions.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a pleading.
That's
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
So, in other words, Mr. Kamotho, I don't think you need to worry. You don't even need to be told anything right now. If they don't show up with the witnesses, your position is very easy.
I'm settled, my lord.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, my lord.
So can we take a break now?
And my lord, sorry, Karaoke Njiri,
Yes.
that will mark the end of
sorry.
the examination to the particular
Correct.
witness.
I didn't record that.
Yes, and unless the court has any questions, we can discharge the witness.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think this is a fray I want to enter into.
Thank you, my lord.
Thank you very much.
So we can come back at about 11:15? Yes. Thank you.
But my lord, we have discovered the place we go to take tea because of the absence of provision. Just about 20 minutes, my lord. We can indulge just for 20 minutes.
All right.
We're most obliged.
We can extend in the evening.
We are most
Isn't
obliged.
it?
Yes.
Sure.
I